Archaeological searches in the region have demonstrated that the ancient Minoan culture was advanced in civil engineering with plumbing, airflow management, multi-story buildings, and earthquake-resistant design. Santorini may well have been home to a maritime empire with the force to pit itself against ancient mainland Greece, which, according to Plato, was exactly what Atlantis did. Historically, Santorini was indeed wiped out by a single major cataclysm, a volcanic eruption in the 2nd millennium BCE. Could Santorini have been the inspiration behind Plato's Atlantis? Santorini was a developed maritime power. The remaining built structures of the city of Akrotiri on Santorini reveal a degree of sophistication that may well have rivaled the civic environment of pre-ancient Athens. However, it is difficult to correlate the geological clues that Plato claimed for Atlantis. The concentric circles of the Atlantean capital cannot be identified. Crete, rather than Santorini, was the local center of power. Santorini did not sink under the waves of the Atlantic. It was buried in the Aegean Sea by a volcanic eruption. Furthermore, Santorini's timeline does not match the dates that Plato claimed for Atlantis. Neither is it opposite the location almost universally accepted for the Pillars of Hercules. One of the key geographic markers that Plato gave was that he placed Atlantis, which with the capital city and associated islands, he said was a landmass a little larger than modern-day Libya. And he placed it beyond and opposite the Pillars of Hercules, across from the Pillars of Hercules, he said, or Heracles, as the ancient Greeks would say. Now, those pillars were understood by the ancient Greeks to refer to the two towering promontories that flank the entrance to the Strait of Gibraltar. And Greek legend tells the story of Heracles marking the edge, the western edge of the known world. Beyond that was the unknown world. And that would place Atlantis not in Santorini, but somewhere to the west, in the North Atlantic, to the west of Spain and northwest Africa. But how far west? Evidences of ancient cities lost in the terrain and under the coastal waters of South America have led some to locate Atlantis in modern-day Amazonia, Bolivia, or off the coast of Cuba. But for an ancient maritime people to advance a naval attack on Athens from Cuba or Bolivia would not appear in the least feasible. Cuba is one of a number of locations on planet Earth whose coastal waters have submerged the cities of a previous culture. The island of Malta famously has these deep tracks embedded in stone that lead something onto land that is now thousands of feet underwater. Off the coast of Yonaguni-jima in Japan and in the Gulf of Cambay off the coast of India, under 25 to 36 meters of water, scientists have discovered the remains of streetscapes and cityscapes that would have been above sea level no more recently than 10,000 years ago. So there's no shortage of evidence for a civilization long predating our own. So while these places are fascinating and certainly important because it tells us there's a huge gap in our knowledge of our ancestry, our ancient past, they're not Plato's Atlantis. They're just in the wrong place. Plato's geographic clues have led some explorers to the coastal regions of Spain and northwest Africa. But what did the northwest African coastline look like 11.5 millennia ago at the time of Atlantis? What tectonic shifts might have altered the lie of the land and the perimeter of the oceans? Plato's description of an earthquake and a tsunami certainly hint at a cataclysm of global proportions. Viewed from space, the western coast of Mauritania bears the unmistakable scars of an immense deluge. A wash of sand and silt has immersed a huge section of land spanning from the North Atlantic to the interior of what is now the Sahara Desert. Land that is now well above sea level was once underwater. Accordingly, the desert floor is scattered with the remains of marine animals, their skeletons and shells a testament to the land's oceanic past. Here in 2008, Natalis Rosen and George S. Alexander began to investigate an anomaly in the Mauritanian landscape, a structure within the Eye of Africa, the Richat structure.